So Saddam Hussein and Adolf Hitler head to a bowl game. Saddam goes, "What bowl game are we going to?" Adolf, "We're going to see Minnesota and Virginia Tech." Saddam, "Do you have a bet?" Adolf, "No, but we'll call Marco." Marco D'Angelo, how are you, my friend?
Prez, I missed you, I think. How are you? Happy New Year.
I'm
Nice
wonderful,
hat.
brother. We got a great show lined up today, and we'll talk about my hat in a second. You're on. You're going to take apart the Minnesota and Virginia Tech game. You're also going to look at Buffalo and Liberty. Then we're going to end with some college hoops, Michigan State and Ohio State. Gianni the Greek going to end the show. Me and Gianni are going to take apart every game on the board in NFL, Marco. So there. And Andy Lang coming on with some unbelievable NFL prop bets. Man, you saw the channel today, Marco. It looks like Andy put a lot of work into this.
Absolutely. Andy always does. He comes prepared no matter what show he's on, especially when he comes on that show. You might have heard of Bet on It.
Yeah, I've heard of it. They stole everything from me. Yeah. Marco D'Angelo logs on, makes fun of my hat, asks me what truck I will be driving. Clearly, the uncool grandfather Marco does not understand the quality of this hat brand, but that's okay. Let's go, brother. Let's get straight into some actionable betting information. We got a bowl game going tonight. How do we bet it?
Well, this is going to be a very intriguing bowl game with Minnesota and Virginia Tech. You got Minnesota comes in here at 7-5, and Virginia Tech is 6-6. Now, I will tell you, Minnesota has won their last 5 bowl games in a row. So that is definitely something we like to look at. They come and want to win these games. Virginia Tech at 6-6. I'll be honest with you, Prez. Normally, when I see a 6-6 team in a bowl game, it's something that I like to look at that team, because you talk about in these games that are non-playoff games, where's the motivation come from? And if you're sitting at 6-6, generally speaking, you don't want to have a losing season. You're going to try a little harder to get that magical number 7. The problem with that is Virginia Tech's roster right now looks like a skeleton of what it was. Between NFL opt-outs and transfer portal exits, they're going to be missing, like a dozen starters, while Minnesota's roster is pretty much intact. That is a huge edge, obviously, for Minnesota, and thus why you've seen this line go crazy. This line was 3.5 at one point in time. We're up to 9, and don't be surprised if it takes another tick before we get to game time tonight, as the public gets involved, as they normally do the last couple hours before game time. Minnesota's strengths their passing game, while Virginia Tech struggled against teams that threw the ball well. And with all of these opt-outs, I just don't see how Virginia Tech's going to be able to move the ball on a consistent basis. So we've got 3 options when we look at this game of how we could attack it and bet it. We could go ahead and lay the 9 points in this game. I think that's a little bit too much of a line adjustment for me. So I'm not going to go with the Minnesota -9. We could look at a team total. We could take Minnesota team total over 26.5 and play the game that way. One of the problems with Minnesota, and it's also one of the reasons that I don't want to lay the 9 with them, they're not a good running team. When you're laying points, you want to be able to run the football so that whenever you're in the fourth quarter and you're trying to protect the lead and you're running the football, trying to kill clock, you're actually doing something that you do well and can extend the lead. That's not Minnesota's strength. So I'm going to nix those 2 options and go with option number 3. And that is Virginia Tech team total under 16.5. I just don't see how they're going to be able to muster enough points tonight in this game against PJ Fleck's defense. Virginia Tech, not an offensive juggernaut to begin with, and with all of the players out and key people out, I just don't see them moving the football on a consistent basis. So for me, put me down for Virginia Tech team total under 16.5.
Well, that was quite the story to get to that bet, Marco D'Angelo. Thank you for that. So, rumor has it you're the number one handicapper wager talk since September 24th.
Yeah, we could round that up to October 1st. You want a nice round number. It's still number one, Prez, but I appreciate you pointing that out. And it's been a good 2024 for us as we head into 2025. Yesterday was not a good day for me. We're still on a 22-8 run the last 2 weeks, Prez, plus 3,300 for our clients. But I did have a rare loser on a 5% yesterday. We went with Georgia yesterday. Not proud of that one. It was not a good pick, and we bounced back today. But if you're looking, we always say it's not a sprint, it's a marathon, and that's something that I've demonstrated with that run that we had for all of 2024. To be honest with you, we finished, I think, third for the year in total profit in 2024. You can pick up a 90-day package at WagerTalk right now, and you can do this for any capper. If you buy a 90-day all-access package, we're going to add a bonus month free. That's going to get you 120 days, and if you divide it out, that's going to cost you just $7 a day to get your favorite capper. And if we have a play, it's generally our plays are $25 for a single play. If it's a 5%, it's $35. You're going to get not only the play of the day every day, you're going to get all of our plays when you purchase that all-access 3-month package with the bonus.
Marco D'Angelo joining us, everyone. And Marco, you have had just a run from the gods. You and I speak on a regular basis, and it's been really one of those, moments where never let it end. So congratulations, dude. You told me like 2 months ago, I think my run is done. Then you win 20, go 20-2. Then 2 weeks ago, I think my run is done. Then you go 18-2. I hope your run is never done. I hope you continue slaying the books, Marco. I'm happy to take a back seat to your brilliance.
Yeah, but with that hat, you should be in the front seat driving, but okay.
That was a joke, everybody, in case you missed it. Liberty playing Buffalo. This game goes tomorrow, Marco. 57% of the money written so far, the tickets on Buffalo, and 70% is on the over, which is 50.5. The Bulls are -3. Where are you going here?
Well, you're seeing the money, Prez, simply because Liberty is another team that's lost a lot of key people. Their quarterback, Salter, is transferred to Colorado, and he's not the only player for Liberty that's going to miss this game. They're going to be missing 3 offensive linemen, and that is a concern. You never want to see the offensive line take that many hits. It's tough enough when you're going to be starting an inexperienced quarterback as it is. And then if he's got to get pressure, could create some problems with them moving the football. But I'm looking at this thing, and I just can't lay points with Buffalo in any situation. Now, if you look at Buffalo, you see this team, they like to score points. They go up and down the field. They like to throw the football all over the place. They've thrown for 200 yards in 5 of their last 6 games. In the only game that they didn't throw for over 200, they threw for 193. But in that game, they were up 43-7. So they kept running the football. They weren't throwing it in that one. They rushed it 52 times with the big lead. The problem is Buffalo, those final 4 wins in a row at the end of the season looks nice when you look at the log, except if you look at the 4 teams that they beat. Those 4 teams made up 4 of the 5 bottom teams of the MAC conference. Now, if you follow the MAC at all, you know that the MAC basically had a couple decent teams in there, and the rest of the league was pretty bad. And so beating the 4 of the worst 5 in that conference really doesn't impress me. And if you look at this Buffalo defense all year, that really scares the hell out of me. Even with the opt-outs, I think Liberty's going to be able to move the ball enough in this game to get the job done. This is a team that can run the football. And as I said, Buffalo, you look at that defense, I can't trust them. They have given up 30 points or more 6 times this year. 4 times they allowed 47 or more points. Not what you want to be doing, laying points with a team. So this one, again, it's the last bowl game that's not a playoff implications. And if you got to bet it, we're going to take the dog here with Liberty.
B Daddy, one of our listeners, likes the over. So do I. Marco, let's turn our attention to college basketball. We've got a high-profile game going on between Michigan State and Ohio State, the 18th and 21 ranked teams currently in college hoops. -2.5 for Ohio State. They're taking 68% of the money. Where's Marco's money going?
Yeah, and this line actually, Prez, opened up at Ohio State 1. We've seen that line jump to the Ohio State side, and it makes sense for the public to go that way, Prez. You're looking at 2 very good teams, as you said, both ranked in the top 25, and it's basically pick the winner, and you got Ohio State at home. So to me, on a Friday night, that looks almost a little bit too easy for my liking to grab Ohio State. I like Michigan State in this game. And one thing I always say about Coach Izzo, he does not shy away from scheduling tough out-of-conference games in the month of November and December. He does it every single year. This year was no exception. He played early on Kansas, Memphis, in North Carolina. What that does for this team is make them battle-tested and gets this team ready for conference play and gets them tournament ready when we get to March, playing all of those tough games. This is going to be a classic matchup of offense versus defense. Ohio State wants to play a little bit faster. They want to go up and down the court. Michigan State can play fast, but their bread and butter is their defense. Michigan State has held 6 of their 13 opponents to 39% or less shooting, meaning Ohio State's going to have to work for their buckets. And I think Michigan State is going to frustrate them on enough possessions down the court that they stay in this game and pull away late. Michigan State has just 2 losses on the year, and those were to, as I said, number 7 Kansas and number 21 Memphis. I think they've played the better schedule so far, and that is going to be the difference in this one. And again, as I said at the top, just pick the winner. You know me. It looks a little trappy to me to grab Ohio State at home. I'm going to go ahead and take the road dog with the Spartans.
Marco D'Angelo, everybody. As good as it gets. Really one of the best handicappers out there, especially since September 24th. Marco, lots of love, my brother. Thanks for joining us. Now you can go and suck on some helium and laugh all day, bro. Anything else?
You know what? No, Prez, I like your hat. That color does suit you. You should have that shirt. You have a shirt that color as well. Yeah, it would have been better to be color coordinated, but that's okay.
Well, that's gray and gray.
Oh, okay.
Like, I'm not taking fashion advice from you, dude. Like, seriously. Literally the last person on the freaking planet I'm taking fashion advice. Why you think Vancouver Canucks? Why you think they're a dog today, Marco? Have you looked at that game? I'm fascinated. Nashville on the road at -160. Who the hell are they playing? A freaking kids team?
Vancouver hasn't, played well. And I did look at that game, and that line surprised me, Prez. And it was lower. There's money come in on Nashville in that game this morning. So I got to update it and look and see if there's any injuries that I missed early on. But yes, at first glance, that did look like a very puzzling line of why that movement came in.
Yeah, and look, dude, I mean, I obviously we didn't discussing this, but there's no Quinn Hughes, there's no Elias Patterson, and I get that. They did win their last game in Seattle 4-3. They've gotten points out of 3 of their last 4 games. They are not playing horrible right now. That is not technically true. And Nashville, I mean, Marco, this Nashville team has lost 3 in a row. They are minus 160 on the road. I am baffled at that line. And it's like, I want a bookmaker on. We don't have Dave Mason today, but man, I want to know why that line is the way it is. Is this one of those situations where, like, do we bet Vancouver or do we say they know something we don't?
Well, that's one of those situations. Like I said, I haven't tore that game down, Prez. There was another game that in hockey, I don't know if you were involved in it tonight, but Montreal looks way too easy tonight in Chicago. They're coming off of 3 big wins in a row, and look at the teams that they beat.
Yeah.
They played, they beat Vegas in Vegas. And one of the things that I would like to see is they played Vegas on New Year's Eve day. Did they stay in Vegas New Year's Eve or did they fly out? And that's another thing, a little party time here. This, if you talk about a situation where a flat spot, this could be that one for Montreal.
Oh, I am with you 100%, dude. Like take a small little teeny weeny money line parlay on Chicago and Vancouver. But I am with you. This is a really bad spot for the Montreal Canadiens tonight. Nicely said. Marco, love having you on, man. I've missed you, brother. Have a great, great weekend and keep winning for us. Guys, what a show so far. We've still got Andy Lang coming up, and Andy has put in a ton of work on the prop bets for Sunday's NFL card. And we've got Gianni coming on as well, and me and him are going to go through every single NFL game on the board. Before we get into that, I want to ask you guys a serious question, and people in the chat room answer, people who are commenting after the show. I'm really, really curious to know if you guys are betting the NHL plays that I give out on the show. Yesterday, I gave you the Toronto Maple Leafs. They cashed. I also gave you the over in the Colorado Avalanche game. It cashed. I gave you Detroit earlier on in the week as a plus 130 dog. It cashed. I'm 5-0 this week in giving out free NHL bets. I am going to give you guys one tonight, and that is the over in the Edmonton-Anaheim game. The over in the Edmonton-Anaheim game. I really like that play a lot, and mainly because Anaheim is scoring. And, from my perspective, whenever you're looking to play an over in a game that Edmonton is involved in, the key question is, what is the other team going to do? Because we can pretty much count on Edmonton getting 3 or more goals in almost every game they play this year. Now, obviously, they have games where they go cold, but they have gotten 3 or more in every game in the last 10. 9 of the in their last 9 straight games. Okay, I got that out of my mouth. They got 3 or more goals in their last 9 straight games. So, logic would suggest that they're going to get us 3 or more tonight. They're not playing some defensive juggernaut in the Anaheim Ducks. This is a team that does let goals in, but this is also a team that has been scoring. Anaheim just put up 4 on Winnipeg, which is very impressive. They put up 3 on New Jersey, and they just put up 5 on Edmonton 3 games ago, where the total of that game ended at 8-5-3. Anaheim's also coming off of 3 wins in a row. So can't touch Edmonton here at minus 450, 500. That's insane to me. If anything, I would take a small wager on Anaheim, but I do think this is a bad spot for them. Take over the total of 6.5 in the Anaheim Edmonton game. And guys, don't be sleeping on my NHL bets. I won my NHL 4% last night. I was on Dallas Stars in regulation. I'm now on a 9-1 NHL run, and I have a play up tonight that I absolutely love. As well, guys, I've got a big NFL play on Saturday, and I have a big NFL play on Sunday, and I'm on a 10-1 run in NFL. So please join me. Thanks for allowing me the privilege to promote. Andy Lang joining us. Andy freaking Lang. How many of those shirts do you have?
The hoodies?
Yeah, because every day this
7 or 8.
week.
Yeah, 7 or 8.
Wow.
It's the most comfortable hoodie I've ever worn. I am loyal to the brand, and honestly, they look good on camera. So this is just my winter my winter attire. So I got 7 or 8 different patterns and colors.
Andy, you sent in a ton of information. I mean, holy moly. I mean, I really would like to read this down the board. I think everybody needs to know. Why don't we start with your 2 prop bets, and then we'll just race through the incentive stuff that is going to happen in week 18.
Well, they're all incentives. You asked me to come here with incentives, so we'll just kind of go down the line here. Jamar Chase is going to be going for most catches, most yards, and TDs. I think he's got this one wrapped up, but Cincinnati does need a win to have any chance to make the playoffs. So you can look at Jamar Chase to go for the most catches, yards, and TDs. He's probably going to get a lot of targets. Long shot is Zach Ertz needs 9 catches, 90 yards, and 2 touchdowns. His receiving total is only 38.5. And this is a game that Washington has said we're going to be playing all out. I think that's worth playing. Also, he's plus 225 to have 1 touchdown catch. So they may try and if incentives are important to them, I think that plus 225 is interesting. If they want to try and get him 2 touchdowns, you can get plus 225 just to have 1. So I think there's some little bit of value on Zach Ertz there. All right, here's some other ones. Geno Smith needs 186 yards passing. Unfortunately, the books have his passing total at 244.5. However, you can use this parlay piece to pass for 200 yards at minus 400. I'll show you how you can use that one. J.K. Dobbins needs 58 yards rushing. There's not a line available for that one. Mike Evans is probably going to be the real popular one. He needs 5 catches and 85 yards, but the books are all over this. His receiving line is 99.5. Baker Mayfield wants to get Mike Evans to 1,000 yards. So there's no line on receptions, but I think you're taking Mike Evans over 99.5. This is a game Tampa needs to win. They're playing the hapless Saints. Expect big games from Baker and from Mike Evans. This is an interesting one to me. Kyler Murray needs 50 yards rushing and a rushing touchdown to get some incentives. 50 rushing yards is plus 300. That's quite a nice price on Kyler, who he hasn't run the ball a lot this year, but in a game that's kind of meaningless, maybe he takes off and runs quite a bit. So that one has my interest. Joe Mixon needs 107 rushing yards, no line yet. Tony Pollard needs 83 rushing.
Hold on, Andy.
Yeah.
Joe Mixon's not even seeing the field, bro.
You asked me to come to bring
No, I know, but we wanted to I want to discuss this. If you guys do see a line on Joe Mixon, take the under.
Okay. Tony Pollard needs 83 yards rushing. He's been hurt the last couple weeks. Marquez Valdez-Scantling needs a touchdown to get an incentive, and Derrick Henry needs a touchdown to get to 15. He gets an incentive. It's minus 260 to score a touchdown. Prez, I think you can parlay Derrick Henry to score a touchdown with Geno Smith to have 200 yards passing. That would be the way that I would play those two. It gets you under the minus 200, kind of around minus 150. Those are very, very attainable numbers. That's how I would play the incentives this week.
This is amazing stuff, Andy. Thanks for doing this. And there's still so much more. I'm happy to keep going if we've got the rest up. Dan?
Yeah, there's a ton of sack props. These sack props are probably not going to come out until closer to game time. I'll let you guys read these. The one that has my attention is Kyle Van Noy for Ravens. He just needs half a sack. That's a game they have to win. He's going to be playing, and he gets the Browns and Dorian Thompson Robinson. So that would be the one that really, really jumps off the page for me. Only needing half a sack is so much easier to get than a full sack. So if you're into sack props, these are some guys that definitely need one or half a sack just to get their incentives. Kyle Van Noy, though, that's the one I would focus on.
Andy Lang joining us. Andy, any dart plays? I mean, everyone wants to know.
Well, I have to say, we do not have a client play for the championship today, But I do have to say, 29-13. That's our record in the championships of darts. That is a hell of a run that we've had for this tournament. So really proud of that. All right, Luke Littler faces Michael Van Gerwen. I'm going to take Luke Littler -1.5. He is absolutely unstoppable. Michael Van Gerwen's been playing great, but Littler is just in a class all by himself. He averaged 105 yesterday, which is insane in his semifinal match, and I just think he's going to be too much. I mean, this guy applies so much pressure. He's relentless. Anytime his opponent gets up even slightest, he just comes over the top with a haymaker. So it's going to be Littler -1.5 for me in this one. Honestly, no client plays though. I'm just going to sit back and watch the party. It's going to be a really, really fun day. And Prez, do you know that Littler he's the best in the world? He's a teenager.
The bigger question is, do you care
about what?
Any of that?
Yeah, Prez, this is a sport that is exploding.
I care about winning. It is not a sport.
What is it?
It's a game, and that's okay. I love games.
That's a game.
I don't know why people get mad when I call baseball a game or bowling a game or billiards a game. It's a game. It's a fun game.
It's a game that they are adding more tournaments each year. If darts was a stock, I would be buying it. This sport is exploding, and we are primed to make money off of this one. This has been one of our better sports in 2024. There is a lot of profits to be made. So I will be your resident darts expert. We have a big tournament coming up in January, so I'll be sure to be bringing some plays for that as well.
Guys, I don't know if you've noticed, but we've really stopped promoting, giving out a coupon code for every single handicapper who comes on the show. I actually complained about it to head office. I was like, it's making the show messy. It's becoming a little bit too infomercially. Let's really calm that down. And instead, we've been giving out promotions that affect all the handicappers, like the current one that we're running today, which is buy 90 days and get 30 days free. So if you guys could go buy 90 days of Andy Lang and get 30 days free. Now, with that said, Andy Lang, we are at the beginning of January, and I just want to tell you guys, and you've heard this from me before, and I don't know, Andy, if you heard me say this on Tuesday or Wednesday, but if I were to buy any handicapper for an entire year, it would be you. You just came off an unbelievable 2024. You had an incredible 2023. You are constantly winning money for the clients. And more importantly, it's not really more importantly, but a lot of your picks are fun. You know, you're a fun, jovial handicapper that seems to win a shit ton. So we did come up with a promo for you for the entire year. And I do want to give it out because, honest to God, people, I would buy a year of Andy Lang over anybody else at the website. Tokyo Brandon, maybe, I get it. But it's not as fun as Andy's dart plays. Anyway, Andy, is this right? You get a full year access for $1,188. That seems so freaking random to me. Andy365 is the coupon code.
Yeah, it comes out to $99 per month. That's why it's kind of a random number. It's an incredible discount. I mean, you guys know what a 30-day pass is like. You're getting all of these plays for $99 a month. You know, we've shown consistent long-term winner. We've been in the top 5 in 2023 and 2024. We're the number one handicapper the last 2 years. So we've shown long-term, when you invest with us, we can build your bankroll. We've been doing this for years. We've been building bankrolls for several years here at the website. Yes, we absolutely bet things that are off the radar and off the beaten path. That's why we win. We were able to find the markets that the books are not paying total attention to. That's why we win at darts. That's why we win at golf. That's why we win at Formula One. There's no reason not to invest now. We only run this special once, maybe twice a year on a discount on a 1-year pass. So we wanted to wait until after the first of the year, so we had all of our final numbers. Final numbers were 128 units in 2024, 91 units in 2023. So now's your chance. Get on board. It's a huge savings and a big discount. WT.buzz/AL. Looking forward to a big 2025.
Yeah, I agree. Andy Stoner Circle writes, darts is a huge sport. Prez bets on college kids and then disrespects the hallowed sport of darts. So instead I should bet on
Stoner.
So
Amen.
Instead I should bet on a high school kid?
No. He's winning. He's cashed so many bets for us. He cashed so many bets for it. I'm betting on him. Yeah, absolutely.
Little Lightyear or something or other. Little Light.
Yeah, Luke Lightyear. No, Luke the Nuke. His nickname is the Nuke. Andrew, real quick, Andrew asked, sharing what books these plays are bet at would be helpful. All these plays are available at your DraftKings, FanDuel, BetMGM. So I think a lot of them are also on the other books outside of there. But yeah, all these dart plays can be found at DraftKings. You probably haven't clicked on the darts section ever, so just click on the darts plays and they're all in there. But yeah, if you have any questions about what books are available, don't hesitate to ask.
Andy Lang, everyone, killer segment. Andy, I know Andy's gone, but Andy, if you see in the chat room, one of our listeners says your stuff's the best segment that we have over at WagerTalk, and I love it. It's really, really great. I also love the Gianni segment. Gianni, the Greek, joining us. Welcome to the show, my brother. Hello. Oh, he's almost in, people. Almost in. So I did start watching Landman last night. Another Taylor Sheridan show. And I think Taylor Sheridan really likes cars driving down dirt roads. It's his favorite scene in Yellowstone, and now it's his favorite scene in Landman. With that said, man, I binged close to 5 episodes in one night. Very, very slow, but very intriguing. And the women in that show, oh my God, the women. I mean, listen, the daughter is playing a 17-year-old. So at first I was like, but then I Googled her and found out that in real life as an actress, she's 27. So then I was like, yes, I can perv on this girl. Taylor Sheridan. Did I say the name wrong? What is Chris Allen saying to me? I'm not cool, Chris. I don't know what WOAT means. What the WOAT is the WOAT? Help me, people. What is the WOAT? Anyway, where is Gianni? Nobody wants to listen to me ramble. Gianni is working on his camera, everyone. Chris Allen is typing in what WOAT means. Andrew Wadge, worst of all time. Okay, so Chris, I'm not going to agree. I hated Yellowstone. It was so slow. It was directorial masturbation. It was a guy who got his kicks out of 4x4s on dirt roads. I hated Yellowstone. Tulsa King was acceptable, nothing great. Landman is good, but Lioness, and especially season 2, that is a spectacular masterpiece. So I am not with you, Chris Allen. Plus, man, the women in Landman are just spectacular. Andrew Wadge wants to know if I watched The Penguin. No, I didn't watch it yet, and I don't know if I'm going to get to it. The problem, honestly, Wadge, is I hated the Joker. I despised the Robert Pattinson version of the Batman. I thought it was one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. So why should I give the Penguin my time? I absolutely could not stand the Penguin, the Batman, or the Joker. So I don't know. We're waiting on Gianni, guys. So keep throwing stuff at me. He's using the Andrew Wodge wants to know about Ray Donovan. I liked Ray Donovan right up until the season where the wife died, and then I quit on it. But yeah, I like. Listen, I love Liv Schreiber. If you guys want to see a spectacular Liv Schreiber movie, it's called Defiance. It's with Daniel Craig. It is a freaking masterpiece. Okay. Gianni the Greek joining us, everyone. Way to go, Gianni. I like your color combination tonight. We are a little matchy-matchy.
Yeah, see, the thing is, my girl got like $2 worth of equipment, new Sony camera, lights, all this stuff that she's setting up. So that's what I was trying to do, and that's the problem. So now, instead of slowing down the show, we're just going off the laptop. But wait till you see the quality that's coming your way from me, Prez. Going to be so impressive.
I had no problem with the quality originally, Gianni. I want to make mention, everybody, Gianni and I are going to go down every game on the board. The NFL presidential address is currently up. If you want a deep dive into my thoughts on these games, you can find that at WagerTalk TV. Now, Gianni, let's start. We're going to go through rotation order, my brother.
Yes.
So we're going to start right off the bat with Cleveland going in to Baltimore. Listen, I like the over in this game. I can't get anywhere near the side.
Well, yeah, it's gotten way out of hand. Now you're looking at about 19, 20-point favorites on the Baltimore side. So, I mean, the line's just gotten away from you. The key here is Baltimore won't know the outcome of the Pittsburgh game, so we expect the starters to give effort. Yeah. That's what you're paying here for. That's exactly what you're paying, and you expect nothing from the Browns. And we know historically Baltimore loves beating up bad teams. Like if they get a 10-point lead on you, they're going to rush it up to 20. If they have a 20-point lead on you, they want to win by 35. That's what Harbaugh does. So I really don't think I want to look at the dog here, but I think you've lost any kind of value on this favorite. For me, it's a pass, Prez. It's a pass.
Yeah, and that makes sense, Gianni. I'm with you there. I do like the over, though, a little bit, and I prefer it in the first. I prefer the first half over. I think there's going to be a lot of first half opportunities coming into Week 18. Pittsburgh against Cincinnati, and again, Gianni, I don't know how you can't bet the over here. I know 48 feels high, but man, Cincinnati, you're pretty much getting 30 plus from Cincinnati, no matter who they play, and especially with Jamar Chase chasing the triple. And Pittsburgh, although they haven't scored much of late, they are playing a terrible pass defense in Cincinnati, and they're going to have no choice but to keep up. And I guarantee you Pittsburgh is playing to win this game.
I could not agree more. Listen, it's a division rival. It's Cincinnati. You could ruin their chance of making the playoffs. We know Cincinnati's got to win. Denver's got to lose. And all of a sudden, Cincinnati's in the playoffs. And I know Denver's a big favorite, but they are the Kansas City Chiefs who could beat anybody on any given Sunday. So I think you're going to see an effort from the Steelers to eliminate the Bengals. I think this line makes absolutely no sense. You're paying that premium because we just know the Bengals just closed as 3-point favorites at home versus the Steelers. And now you're giving me minus 2.5. 3 on the road, line value all over Pittsburgh. Win or lose, I think Pittsburgh offers you a good bet on Sunday, and more importantly, time in the teasers on Saturday if it's at that 2.5, getting them up to 8.5. I think they're going to play hard, and they will not get blown out by double digits at home. I think Pittsburgh on the teaser is a great bet.
Gianni, let's go to our Sunday card. I love Tampa Bay. Flat out, I know it's now minus 14 at most books. I got a 41-13 type of a score here. I think this game goes way over the total. I think if we get a field goal out of New Orleans, this game goes over the total. This is blowout city.
I think it's the possibility of blowout city. What worries me is the must win and you win the South. And I think because of that, you're being asked to lay a little bit more than you should on Tampa Bay. And let's not forget what just happened on New Year's Eve in New Orleans. Like, this is now a city that's dealing with that devastation.
Yep.
And and you could look at it from a point like this city needs that. Like if you remember Katrina, after Katrina, not saying it's that, but after Katrina, how the Saints played for the city. I went down there. I saw Drew Brees posters everywhere. The city was so into the Saints. They didn't even know if they were going to be a good team or a bad team. It didn't matter. And I think if you get that kind of effort from them, they could keep it within 2 touchdowns. That's what worries me. With laying this many points on the Buccaneers in the must win. But there's a ton of injuries on the offensive side of the ball for New Orleans, and that's why I think you're right. This team will not put up a lot of points, or else I would have already bet this over. So that's what I fear. But gun the head, I'm taking the 14 with New Orleans because I do think they will give us some effort against Tampa Bay. I don't think they're just going to lay down, especially after getting blown out the last 2 weeks, putting up 10 points and giving up almost 60.
Listen, and it's okay that we disagree. And
we
what
should on points.
Your reasoning makes sense, Gianni, and I understand that. I just, it's one of those things where if the gun does not have bullets, it can't kill you.
Yep.
So
no need.
Let's go to New England here, and that's where I'm going in this game, dude. I mean, I get it. Josh Allen's coming out to keep the Iron Man streak alive. What's he going to take? 2 snaps? That team's sitting everybody, man. No way we see James Cook. No way we see the core of that defense. And New England, and we spoke about this over the last few weeks, this team is trying their damnedest. I like New England in this spot here.
Could not agree more. Put me on the Patriots. Let me get them at +3. I think we'll be able to get that by Sunday. But more importantly, put me on the teaser with a total of 36 and a half. Every point, every half point matters. So if I could get 8.5 on New England, I'm all over it. Listen, this line opened 1 and it's now 3 because of the talk that, like you said, Josh Allen and the starters are going to play. How long are they going to play? 3 snaps, 5 snaps, 1 quarter? The rest of the game, you're going to be playing the real Patriots. And more importantly, the talk of the Patriots, they lose this game, they get the #1 draft pick, so that's what they want to do. Maybe that's what management wants to do, but rest assured, that's not what the players want to do. All players want to do is go out there and win a football game. If you go out at half speed, you get injured. This is the NFL. You can't go out there and try to lose. That makes absolutely no sense. It's the stupidest thing I ever heard. These guys are going to go out there and play ball. Sure, Buffalo's better than them, but I don't think you're going to see the Buffalo starters on the field for very long. Give me New England plus the points. Give me New England on the teaser.
Gianni the Greek joining us. We're going to run the show just a little late to try to get through this all. We've got Chicago at +10 going into Green Bay. And, Gianni, I'll look to bet Green Bay here first half. There are a couple of very interesting games. Green Bay needs to win this game. And I understand they don't technically need to win this game. But, man, you got a situation where either Green Bay or Washington is playing Philly or the Rams.
Yep.
That's a massive difference. I would like to see Green Bay here, but I can't lay the 10. And the reason ultimately is Washington's ahead of them right now. And if Washington is beating Dallas by 2-3 scores late in that game, Green Bay's got nothing to play for anymore. I like them in the first half, and I would prefer to take Chicago on the game.
I could not agree more. I think this line would probably be a little – we don't have confirmation from Green Bay as far as the starters go. But this line, the way it's moving and where it stands, it looks like they're going to play. They're coming off a loss against Minnesota, and that was such a big game where they gave a ton of effort. And now what do you got to give that for against Chicago? I get it. There is some reasons for them to hold the seeding, this or that. But I just think this line's starting to get higher than it needs to be. Again, I'm not betting this game, but if I had to, I would look to the Bears, especially with the total coming down from 42 down to 40, even lower. Every points matter. Give me double digits with the Bears or I'm passing.
I like the Jets, Gianni. I got a feeling they're going to end the season the way they should have started it.
Could not agree more. Tua doubtful. That's all the talk of the free fall in the Jets locker room. How they're in disarray. Dude, they've been in disarray from the beginning. What's changed? I see nothing, no problem with that at all. I like the Jets side in this one. I think the Huntley is going to regress. He had like 115 passer rating in that game last week. His average is like in the 70s in his career. Yeah. He'll regress. Give me the Jets at home. Cold weather.
I'll take Kansas City here. I know that Denver must win this game. But, man, Kansas City, although they're not going to play most of their starters, they're not going to lie down and die either. And It's just too high a lot. It's too much. 10.5. I'll take KC.
Anytime a must win. If you must win, like Dr. Bob Willies used to say, if you must win, you must be that good. If you put yourself in that position, you can't be that good, right? If you must win. So that's the situation we're looking at with the Broncos. They got to win. So you're paying that premium. And all the talk is the Chiefs aren't going to play. They're not playing starters, not playing anyone. Dude, you got 50 players on an NFL team. You got to play somebody. You can't just sit everyone. Give me the KC Chiefs. I'm with you.
Gianni. There is a very realistic chance that Pittsburgh wins on Saturday night.
Absolutely. We think so.
Where's the line going to be? If you get KC plus 10.5 in your pocket right now, where's the line going to be if Pittsburgh wins?
The adjustment's going to be significant, and then it's going to be pushed even further.
Another reason why you guys should take Kansas City right the hell now. The Chargers and Vegas, I'm passing on this game. I do look at the over, and I'm passing on Jacksonville and Indianapolis. Thoughts?
Watch what happens on Saturday, because it's going to matter most if the Steelers lose. If the Bengals win, then I think you got a good bet on the Chargers, because Harbaugh keeps saying that the seeding matters. The seeding is very important in the playoffs. So he's playing to win this game, even though it appears it doesn't mean anything to him. Because of that, I'm going to listen to him. I see how the line's also reflecting that that's the case. Chargers for me, or leave it alone.
Carolina and Atlanta. Carolina's the play for me, dude. I think when this game ends, Ryan Morris should be fired. I don't care how you prepare a team. I don't care what kind of coach you are. I don't care what kind of motivator you are. If you can't figure out when to take a timeout, you should not be a coach in this league, period. So I'd like to see him thrown out of Atlanta. Not only do I think Carolina can cover this game, Gianni, but I think there's a chance later on in this game when Tampa Bay's up 41-3 that Carolina wins this game outright. I don't really have a big dog in this fight. I am taking a look at the teaser on the Falcons, teasing them down, but with the high total, a lot of the value is extracted. When you expect a ton of points, the teaser doesn't help you all that much. But I do like, if I'm going to tease a team down, I like the home team down. No, Gianni, no. I will not allow you to make that teaser.
Haven't done it.
Dude, Tampa Bay could be up 21-0 in the first quarter, and the wind, the emotional steam that will come out of the Falcons. No, dude.
You're right. And the line shows that Tampa should be up 14-0 in the first quarter. That's what the line's telling us. No, you're right. So, I will not be on this game at all, Prez. I will not be on this game at all.
I like Dallas.
I can't disagree there. All the Dan Quincy, again, the seeding. We need the win for the 6th seed, blah, 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 blah. Jones saying, I'm not going to say whether we're going to keep McCarthy or not till after the game. Anytime you hear that negativity in Dallas, that's when you're usually getting more points than you should. And I think that's the case here. This line keeps climbing. Let it keep climbing. We may get 7 on Sunday. Give me Dallas as home dogs.
Yeah, 6.5s out there. I'm not touching the Rams game, and I love San Francisco. This line freaking baffles me.
Yeah, it's because Purdy should be out. That kind of stuff is all the talk. It baffles me as well. As far as the Seattle Rams game, here's the problem with the Rams. They clinched the division, and historically, we know McVay in these spots, he sat his starters when they clinch. He gives them that rest. Yep. But that's still no reason that Seattle should be this big of a favorite. I think they're up to 6.5. And they're on the road, and they're playing for nothing. They're eliminated from the playoffs. Like, what really matters? Other than Geno Smith's contract, where there's millions on the line, so what? Give me the dog there. Rams are nothing for me. And that San Fran game, I agree with you as well. Purdy or not, Arizona should not be this big of a favorite over San Francisco, even at home. So we're on the same page there, brother. We're on the same page.
I am not touching the Houston-Tennessee game. Everybody knows I love the over in Minnesota and Detroit, and I'm not touching the Giants in Philadelphia. You?
Real quick, I like the Texans here. Here's why. Because the line tells me they're going to play their starters. And if they're going to play their starters, they should actually be favored in Tennessee. Because remember, Tennessee opens as 4.5-point favorites. It's now down to a pick 'em. So the money coming in on Houston tells me that they are going to play their starters in this game. They're going to play their starters. Like I said, they should be favored on the road in Tennessee. So I like Houston there. Lions, Vikings. Give me the Lions. Give me the Lions. I know it sounds square at 2.5 since it's not at that key 3, but I do like the Lions. I love your bet on the over. 58.5 was the top. Once it got to 58.5, you saw a little resistance. But anyone that's got 55 or better in their pocket with the over, dude, kick your feet up. You placed a great bet. They're probably going to score 70 on Sunday. Eagles, Giants, Barkley not expected to play, and that's it's priced as if the backups are going to be getting the job done and they're going to be starting. I can tell you with certainty when it went to 2.5, I did bet -3 for one of the groups I moved for, but it doesn't seem like they got all that much respect because it did go to 3 plus some juice, but it's now back. You can still find 2.5s. So not sure there where to lead you, but like I said, I can tell you they did take the 2.5 on Philly.
What a show, dude. That was incredible. We've run flat out of time, so we can't go through anything else. We're right up against it. We'll see you next week, Gianni. Have a monster weekend, man. Thanks for joining us, brother. Guys, have a great weekend betting. Be careful. Don't chase. This is a grind. Make sure to be betting all my NHL and NFL. Lots of love to every one of you guys. We'll see you on Monday.